everyone, it's Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Today in this card I'm going to show you how you can combine two very popular bundles in the 2017 holiday catalog to make a really beautiful card. In fact, we received the Carols of Christmas early, and so I know many of you have been playing with this particular bundle. It includes the stamp set, and then it includes all of these different pieces, plus a deer and two trees. The trees I love because they're very natural looking trees, and so I, of course, have been using those. But then, when the holiday catalog debuted, there was this magnificent tree in the Ready for Christmas bundle. So that's what this bundle looks like, and it's a huge stamp set. It has two big sheets of photopolymer stamps that come with the set. So 3 sentiments, a stairwell, a big huge Christmas tree, and all these different little ornaments and presents, and a little puppy and an end table. It's just adorable. And of course it has a set of 20 Thinlits that coordinate with it. Now we're only using one Thinlit today, the great big Christmas tree, because when I saw this Christmas tree, I thought, oh my gosh, I can't wait to combine that with the trees from the Carols of Christmas bundle. And so that's what I did. So all of these stamps are kind of combined, and I'll be telling you which ones are from which stamp set as we go along. But let's go ahead, I'll get this out of the way, and we'll go ahead and get started recreating this card. So it has a very sparkly, snowy base. So this is kind of a rustic card, something that you would want to make for your friends that have cabins. It's just beautiful. And here's the inside panel. So let's go ahead. The first thing that we're going to need is a 5.5 by 8.5 piece of early espresso paper. This is cut and scored already at 4 1/4. And then let's go ahead, we're going to fold it along the score line. I'll get my bone folder here so that it'll lie flat for us. The inside panel, we might as well go ahead and finish that first. So we're going to need some snow for the inside panel. And we also want to cut this down so it looks a little bit more like a snowdrift. You can see that there's kind of a hill in the background. So I'm just going to take my scissors, and all we're going to do here is just make a hill. So you can see that there's real no science to this. It's just a little hill in the background, and then we have this little panel that's left over. And that leftover panel is what's going to go on the inside panel. So for the inside panel, we're using a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of crumb cake paper. And I did pre-stamp a little bit just to save time on the video, but a wish for everything merry is what's on the inside, and then a couple of little sprinkles. The sprinkles are from the Carols of Christmas, and the sentiment is from Ready for Christmas. Then we can take some multi-purpose liquid glue, just add that to the bottom of this small snowdrift here, and we'll just place this right here at the bottom of the inside panel. And it looks so pretty. So that just kind of helps you so that when the recipient opens up the card, there's something on the inside of the card that kind of correlates to the outside of the card, which is kind of a nice touch. Then we're going to take this panel, and it's going to go on a base of crumb cake as well. This will be for the outside of the card. This is 4 by 5 1/4. And we're going to do the very same thing. We're going to take that 3 by 4 inch panel. That's the size of the glimmer paper before I actually cut the snowdrift out of it. I'm not sure if I said that or not, but now you know. And so we'll just add a little glue to that and glue that onto the base of this panel as well. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp our sentiment up here. So I am going to bring my stamping mat into the picture, and we'll ink our sentiment up with garden green ink, and we'll put this here right off the bat. That way we know where our tree is going to go when we get to the point where we're putting the tree on. And then I'll also stamp a few sprinkles. So I have that little sprinkle again from Carols of Christmas, and we'll just add a few of those here and there. We don't want to do too many. It's sometimes hard to stop because it's so much fun to put little sprinkly things on. So that looks pretty good. So we'll just go ahead now and we'll do another little bit of stamping. So we need a little scrap of crumb cake, and we're going to stamp the deer. That's from Carols of Christmas. We'll just stamp him right here. And then we're also going to need a piece of garden green. Now if you cut it to 4 by 5 1/4 or 4 by 5 1/2, you will be able to easily get 2 trees onto this panel. And so that way it just is a good space saver for you if you're making multiples of this card. So I'm inking up the tree in garden green. So we're just going to stamp that tree over here. Give that a good press. Give it a little time for the ink to soak into the paper. And you can see how we would have room if we were going to do this. You could stamp another tree over here and make really good use of your paper. But I've already done that. So now what we want to do is run some things through the Big Shot machine, which I did in advance. So let me show you the sandwich for that. This is my magnetic platform. That's what I started my sandwich on. Then I have my cut plate. And then of course all the different pieces of paper that we needed to cut out. And then I put another clear plate over the top. And then when we remove it, after running it through the Big Shot machine, you can see that we have a perfectly cut out deer. So we'll get that out. And then we have our Christmas tree. Well, actually it's just an evergreen tree in this particular picture because we're not decorating it with ornaments. And then we also have a couple of these realistic looking pine trees. And sometimes it's hard to get these out unless you take a paper piercing tool and just kind of poke through the back so that you can grab a hold of it. So we'll do the same thing over here. All right, now it's just a matter of assembling everything. So let me get this out of the way. And we can start with the assembly. So to get some things out of the way here, let's take the inside panel. We'll take a little multi-purpose liquid glue, and we are just going to set that on the inside of the card because that is done. Then we'll take that other panel that we were working with, which is right here, and we're going to do a little gluing. We're going to stick that little deer down. He is right here, and we're going to glue him in first because we don't want to have him accidentally covered up with a tree, so that way we'll know where he is. So to get the deer in there, you want to have his feet kind of behind the snowdrift there. So I just move the snowdrift up, and then I press my deer in. So there he is, off in the distance. And then we can go ahead and we'll just add a little glue to the top of those trees here. And we're going to set this right here, pretty close to the edge. Just make sure that your trees are going straight up and down. And then this tree is going to be hidden, so don't worry about that one. But then we need another tree over here by the deer. So again, we just add a little glue, and we'll put this in about right like that. There we go. And then if you want, because these bases are a little floppy, because glue doesn't stick to glitter very well, what you can do is grab a glue dot from your roll of glue dots and just set this under here. And that will stabilize that larger tree until that glue has taken hold. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this panel and we're going to put some dimensionals on it. And as you can see, I added 6 dimensionals to our tree image here, and we're just going to set this right over the top of this tree right here. So you won't see that, but that's okay. There we go. So we've got that centered in. And then we have this lovely scene. So let's go ahead now and add this to the front of our card. Just again with a little multi-purpose liquid glue. And then we can flip this over, center this in, and we have a beautiful Christmas card, perfect for those of your friends who like to go to cabins in the wintertime or just like to spend a lot of time outdoors. So it says, "At Christmas and always, a wish for everything merry." Such a beautiful card. So, I mean, I hate to say elegant because, you know, it maybe isn't super elegant, but it's just got a little touch of glitz, and it's just so rustic. I just love it. So here's the card that I've just completed, and here's the card I had done in advance. Thank you so much for being a part of my Stamping to Share community. I truly appreciate you. If you'd like to place a product order, be sure to visit my blog at www.stampingtoshare.com, and I have links there where you can place product orders with Stampin' Up. Have a great day. Bye-bye.